Today, I'm going to be showing you how to back up your Microsoft Power BI reports. And by backup, I mean how you extract data physically out of the Power BI semantic model and put it over here. All right, so why? Why would you want to do this? Well, there's a couple of reasons. So the first reason is maybe you're using just a little bit too much Power Query and you're blending, an Excel file from over here, a SQL file, SQL query from over here, maybe you've got a SharePoint list coming in from over here, and you want to capture all that data blended together in a static format, right? So you want to capture it at that specific point in time. The other reason why you might want to do this is maybe your system is going through a data migration, right? So maybe you're moving from a local on-prem SQL server onto something newer, right? And you want to capture the report pre the migration and then after the migration so you can go ahead and you can compare the two. Now, the easiest way to do this backup is to just download a copy of the Power BI semantic model locally. But then you got a PBIX file floating around, and if you store it in the service, then you have essentially this report that you better not hope someone clicks the refresh button on. So it's best to extract the data out into CSVs, zip them up somewhere, and then put them on like a OneDrive or on Azure DevOps, or even load them into a secondary server. So what's the best way to do this? Well, we've talked about a few different methods, one of which is connecting directly to the analysis model and querying it with DAX. The other way you could do this is you could use it with a Fabric notebook, but you'll start to run into a couple of things. One, it's a hassle, and two, you start to run into data extraction limits. So like if you have a report that's, let's just say 5 million rows, you might not be able to extract all that data. So what's the solution? Well, let's jump into my computer and let's check it out. All right, here I am in a Power BI file, and as you can see, it has a data model right over here off to the side. Now, the easiest way that I've found to do this is to click External Tools and then go to DAX Studio. Now, DAX Studio is a free download, so you can download it and you can install it on your own computer. So once you have that installed, you can then go to DAX Studio, click it, and it'll open up connected to your data model. So in this case, right, it just opened up connected to our data model, and then you can go to advanced and then click export data, and it'll give you an option to either export to a CSV or export directly to a SQL server. I like to go with a CSV, right, because you can either reload those CSVs or you can store them somewhere else. So that's what I select, and then I go ahead and I select a folder, right? So in this case, I go new folder, and I'll title this report backup. And if I can hit the rename, so I'll right click and I will find rename down here, right? And I'll go report backup. And I will go ahead and I'll click OK. I'll go next, and I can select all the tables I want, and I can go ahead and I can click export. And just like that, it'll go ahead and it'll export out all of the data. If you notice, I got an error here, and that's because that metrics table doesn't actually contain any data, right? So metrics, because it doesn't have any columns, but all my other tables, they all exported out very nicely. And let's go take a look at what that might look like. So here is our CSV files. And if I go ahead and I go open with in Excel, here is our data processed exactly like it is in our file, titled exactly the same way. And that's it. That's the easiest way to back up the data within your Power BI file. If you enjoyed this video or learned something new, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. I make videos on business intelligence, mainly Power BI and SQL related stuff. And if you've been tuning in and waiting for the next video in my Learn SQL for Free video series, don't worry, it's coming. It'll probably be the next video I release. And with that, I hope you have a good evening. Thanks for watching.